Okay, here we're looking at the song Wonderful tonight from Eric Clapton. And this song's in the key of G. And here, let me share my screen here. Well, get this showing up. And yeah, there we go. Okay. So you can see we've got the three chords that we usually see happening in the key of G. We've got G major, of course, D major, C, and then also E minor is showing up too. And E minor is actually a relative minor to G major, so no surprise that it shows up. So let's see, we've got a couple of notes. The original recording for this song is 95 beats per minute, but you might want to try at about 80 beats per minute when you're starting out with it here. The basic strum pattern for a beginner would be one downstroke per beat. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and each chord gets one measure, except for a little bit later here. We'll get into that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, D, 2, 3, 4. That'd be where you would want to start. Once you get comfortable with that, then you can add in some upstrokes that come on the and after 2 and the and after 4. So if we're looking at it in terms of beats, it would be 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 3, 4, and. Or in terms of our right hand motion, it's down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up. Okay, so that would sound a little bit more like this. Down, down, up, down, down, up, D, down, up, down, up, C, down, up, down, up, D, down, up, down, up. Okay, now as I mentioned before, the third line in the verse has, let's see, where we are saying, and then she asked me, do I look all right? Both the G and the D only get 2 beats. So each of those is half a measure, so they'll get a down, down, up, each down, down, up, down, down, up. So in context, it would be C, down, up, down, D, down, up, D, down, up, G, down, up, G, E minor, F. So that G and the D happen twice as quickly as the rest of the chords. It also happens, let's see, down here in the bridge, you've got the same thing. I feel down, down, up, C, down, up, D, down, up, D, down, up, G, down, up, D, down, up, E minor, E minor. So that's the how the chords happen on that. Let me put on a little drum beat that's about 80 beats per minute, and I'll play through it here so you can kind of hear how it might sound. Intro. So that's basically what you've got there. The first 2 lines of that first verse follow that exact pattern. And then that third line, again, modifies it just a little bit. And then the fourth line changes it around a bit so that instead of beginning with a G, you begin with a C, then you go to a D, then to a G. And so it gives you kind of a nice little turnaround, so to speak, so that it, again, if we're in the key of G, then our ear always wants to go to hear G as home. And just in terms of the numbers of the chords, or the numbering system, and we haven't talked about this too much yet, but C would be the 4 chord in the key of G. D is the 5 chord, and the 5 chord always leads back to the 1. It always has this pull, and we'll get into that a little bit later, but I just kind of wanted to make you aware that chords can also be called out by numbers in addition to the actual chord name. Okay, so that's a basic overview of the chord structure on this song. And let me see if I can. Okay, now I've switched over to the camera so you can see my guitar just a bit better here. And here we're going to talk about how this song, how the solo in this song can be approximated or pretty darn close using the G major pentatonic scale. And as we've been going through that, the scale shape, or the shape is like. Now that works either in E minor or G major. And in this case, we're thinking about it in terms of G major. So there's one additional note that doesn't show up in that pentatonic major scale, and that's this note on the 2nd string, 1st fret. That's a C. And that is in the G major scale. It's not in the G pentatonic scale. And when Eric's playing this solo, he's using essentially the G major scale, but we can just basically access it by thinking about it as the G major pentatonic scale, which is 5 tones with 1 additional tone. So I guess that makes it a sexatonic scale. That doesn't even sound right. And that might get banned for me saying that. Anyway, as we're listening to the intro, it's actually on the recording, it's played up at the octave position, and it also uses a couple techniques that we haven't covered yet, like bending and hammering and things of that nature, and it sounds like. So, you're a real nice lyric solo. It stays within, all the proper notes are hit, so to speak. But when we're just learning this as a beginning guitarist, we're going to take it down an octave, and we're not going to try and do the bends or the vibrato, anything of that nature, and we'll do it more like this. Now let me bring up some tablature here so that you can really see what's going on. There we go. So if you haven't seen tablature before, it's basically a representation of the guitar neck, and the numbers on it indicate what fret is to be played. So the first note here is on the B string, and it's open. Second note is on the G string, it's on the 2nd fret. Third note is G string, open, etc., etc., etc. So you can see as we're going down the line here, and when we get to that 1st fret on the B string, the 3rd from the last note there, you'll notice that that's not really in the E major pentatonic scale. it is in the the G major pentatonic scale. It is in the G major scale. So that's why it works. So let me play it through again here and just kind of follow along on the tab. So that's basically how we can approach that from kind of a beginner's standpoint. It kind of gives you a little more to work on as far as getting the right feel. Sorry about that. I went to share screen there and I didn't want to do a stop share. Hang on just a second. There we go. Yeah. So anyway, I hope that helps, and thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon.